Many home buyers in today's market are taking a wait and see approach when it comes to buying a home. They're either waiting for interest rates to come down or they're waiting for home prices to come down. If you decide to sit things out, is there a cost of waiting? Well, that's going to be the subject of today's video, and we're going to get started right now. Hi, my name is David Matney with Nebraska Realty. I'm a local realtor here in Omaha, Nebraska. Now let's jump into today's topic. Buying a home is a big decision, and there's nothing wrong with being cautious. You should only buy a home when you're ready, and that's going to depend on your individual situation. Let's say you're in position to buy a home. You have money saved up for a down payment, you have money set aside for closing costs, and you have money saved up in an emergency fund. You have a stable job, and you're looking to live in your new home for at least 5 years. Should you wait for interest rates to come down? As of today's date, mortgage interest rates are now approaching 7%. That means for a $300,000 home with a 5% down payment, your monthly principal and interest payment on a 30-year note would be $1,896. You ask yourself, should I wait for mortgage interest rates to come down? Now, there's 3 problems with waiting for interest rates to come down. Number 1, we're already in a low inventory market. As rates have gone up in the past year, more buyers are being pushed to the sideline. If rates come down, those buyers will come off the sideline, which will make the market more competitive, which will drive up home prices. Number 2, who's to say interest rates are coming down? If they are coming down, when are they coming down? Is it going to be 6 months from now or a year from now? If rates do come down, how much will they come down? Nobody knows. Number 3, what about home prices? Are home prices going to stay the same? The average annual appreciation rate from 1970 to 2020 was 3.8% per year. The current lack of inventory, the record low unemployment rate makes home prices unlikely to come down significantly. Could home prices come down in some markets? Sure. How much will they come down? Remember, real estate is like any other market. It operates on supply and demand. Let's say you decide to wait it out a year and you sign a 1-year lease. Now, when you sign that lease, it costs you $2,000 a month to rent. Times that by 12, that's $24,000 for the year. When you rent, your interest rate is 100%. And guess what? When you rent, you still pay a mortgage, interest, taxes, and insurance. Only it was the landlord's mortgage, interest, taxes, and insurance. And to make things worse, the landlord probably has a profit on top of that. 1 year later, you move out and you have nothing to show for your $24,000 spend. Granted, you did have a place to live for a year. Next year, you decide to buy a home instead of renting. Now, that $300,000 home is now worth $315,000. One could argue that it cost you $39,000 to wait. Now, if home prices went up 5% and you paid rent for a year, that's $24,000 plus $15,000 equals $39,000. Now, to be fair, when you buy a home, you still have mortgage, interest, taxes, and insurance. So not everything gets applied to principal. Let's say interest rates come down to 5%. Now you buy that $315,000 home a year from now with a 5% down payment and a 30-year fixed rate mortgage for a monthly payment of $1,606 per month. However, by waiting until interest rates come down, you'll be saving $290 per month in monthly payment. So you save a total of $3,480 by waiting, but it costs you $39,000 to net that savings. Again, there's no guarantee that interest rates will come down. Nobody knows the future. Or you can buy the home today for $300,000, and if rates do drop from 7 to 5%, you can refinance the loan. No matter what, if you rent or buy, it's going to cost you money to live somewhere. Now, just for fun, let's crunch some numbers and look at some buyers who wanted to wait it out 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I had some clients who decided to wait things out. Guess what? 2 years later, they're still waiting. Back then, the house worth $250,000 is now worth $300,000. The interest rate back then was just over 3%. Now it's close to 7%. What does this look like? Okay, a home price of $250,000, interest rate of 3%, down payment $12,500. The amount financed, $237,500. The principal and interest payment would be $1,001 per month. Now, 2 years ago, if they waited till today to buy a home, that home is now worth $300,000. The interest rate is now 7%. They're still coming in with that 5% down payment, but they got to cough up a little bit more money, so that's $15,000. So the amount they're financing is $285,000. Their monthly principal and interest payment would be $1,896 per month. Now, it's real easy to look back 2 years ago and decide which is the best option. But what about this year? What about waiting for prices to come down? Now, who's to say home prices are coming down? Sure, some prices in some markets may come down. And let's say you're right, prices do come down. When can you tell when home prices are at the bottom? You can only tell when a market bottoms when prices are heading back up. Remember, real estate markets are like the weather. The weather in Omaha, Nebraska is much different than Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's say you bought now and prices did go down. You only realize a loss if you sell the property. If you have a 5-year time frame, and even if prices take a hit for a year or two, over time, historically, you'll bounce right back. Just because prices shot up in the past 3 years does not necessarily mean they have to tank. When you look at a local market, you have to examine the job situation in that market. Are jobs being created? Are businesses moving into the area? What about the local housing inventory? Here's the other thing. When someone on YouTube is predicting a crash, it gets a lot of clicks. Some of these content creators make a lot of money doing real estate market crash videos. They'll take a news article about something negative, which there's always something negative out there. They'll spin it to how it will negatively impact the housing market. Every market is different. If you're waiting for a crash, you have to be in the right market and you have to predict the exact bottom. I would look at the way you buy a home the same way that Warren Buffett looks at a stock. He's not buying a stock based on the price. He's buying a piece of that business. He doesn't sell the stock if it goes up or down 20%. And I think you should apply this mentality when you're buying a home. When you're buying a home, it's much more than just the price. Long story short, you don't wait to buy real estate, you buy real estate and wait.